Welcome back, guys, to episode 10. We are gamingti. I'm Imani.
And I'm Tristan.
This week we have a few things to talk about. CES is happening right now. It actually ends tomorrow. That is January 10th. So we've had a couple days. We've gotten some highlights from various news sources, of course, because we're not attending because it's in Vegas and I don't got Vegas money. Do you?
Nah, man, I don't even have an American visa.
There we go. So we're chilling. But we got our ears to the ground. We know a few things that are coming up and a few things that were spoken about, or at least seen and highlighted at CES. So we'll jump in and we'll talk about that for a bit, and then we're also gonna go and touch on mods and cheats in games. We briefly touched on it last week's episode. So yeah, we'll talk about that and kind of just some opinions on mods and cheats in games in general, because we feel like they contribute a lot to games, even though they're sometimes they're frowned upon, but we'll get more into that later on. But for those of you who don't know, CES is a big tech event that happens in Las Vegas. It's mainly exclusive to the press and people who have some kind of influence in the tech community and so on, or work in the tech industry. It CES itself stands for Consumer Electronics Show. This over the last couple of years, it's turned more into the concept electronics show, to be honest. But we'll get more into that. So first off, at CES, what are some of the cool things that you've seen?
For me, the most interesting thing I've seen is the 360 hertz refresh rate monitor.
Yeah, the one that Samsung rolled out.
What? 240 hertz. I thought that was it. Honestly, not. Oh, sorry, not the one that Samsung rolled out. The Asus one.
The Asus also. Wait, did Samsung roll out one, or am I just going crazy?
I don't think Samsung rolled out one. I think it was
Maybe I
Asus.
just looked at it and I thought it was Samsung because it's white, right? Like the back of it is white. It looks super sleek.
Were there multiple monitors that were 360 hertz?
I now you have me questioning, because the one that I saw, I thought it was Samsung, but maybe I just thought it was. No, but I think you're right. It's Nvidia and Asus.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, like I was saying, I really thought that it was 240 and that was it. But I was watching one of the Asus guys. I forgot his name. Sorry, Asus guy. But he was describing it, and he was saying that they're basically on the road to 1,000 hertz refresh rate, which is, I think that's the refresh rate of our eyes.
Yeah.
So so there's gonna be like a 420. There's more to come. And they say they're targeting this year to release this 360 hertz refresh rate monitor. It's gonna be nasty.
I mean, it'll be nasty for the 30 people that buy it, because the amount of people who could actually afford what that is gonna cost is probably pretty low.
The monitor cost might not be that bad. Honestly, it might be like, I am thinking it might be close to $1,000, which is a lot for a monitor, but still. But what's gonna be the worst is that you need to build a system capable of pushing 360 FPS.
Yeah.
And in other than CS:GO, on the Dota or League of Legends and stuff like that, if you on low settings, maybe then you could get that.
Right. Unless you have an absolutely monster computer.
Yeah.
Some 2080 Ti's and SLI.
But it is good that the refresh rate is beating out GPU technology. So we have room to grow in the GPU market.
And I think it's also a case of, hopefully by the time, the graphics cards that can actually push that stuff out reliably and frequently, by the time those drop, these monitor prices might drop as well, because the technology would have advanced past that already.
Hopefully. Have you seen anything that you?
For me, one thing, again, I'm big into electric cars, and I know we had a brief discussion about it. Sony released their concept car, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as the word concept is put in there, it's like, I don't care about
Like,
it.
maybe make it, right?
Yeah, like it's like, yeah, if you're making it, then. But it's funny. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that screams two. That literally screams a mix of two companies to me. That's Tesla and Porsche. For me, it has like both of those influences in it, at least for the exterior of the car. But I think the thing that Sony did, at least when I was watching the presentation, the thing that was interesting is like, they were like, this is our contribution to electric cars. Here you go. A car that you can't buy or anything, but yeah, look, the concept's there. So I
Mm.
don't know. I really don't know what the point of it was. Is it like, hey, we can make a car, but we're just not going to go into the car like business, or was it to show the possibilities of the future of, I don't know why, like, why did they put in all of that work, because that's
Because
not a
it's
cheap,
possibly profitable. I think that's why they put in that work.
but how are they going to profit is what I mean.
Well, they're not going to profit now. Obviously, they're probably not even going to profit within the first couple of years that the car is released. But I think you were telling me, I don't know if we did this on the podcast or not, but you were saying how a lot of the companies are far behind when it comes to electric cars or
Yes.
just making electric vehicles on their own, not just cars. And a lot of companies, I would think a lot of tech companies would be seeing this as an opportunity to get in to the car market, into a new
uh
market, because
right.
they're not as far behind as everyone. They don't have to compete with the Toyotas, the Volvos, the BMWs. They don't have to compete with them as heavily
I mean, yet,
yet.
because I think those companies are,
Yeah,
I don't know, I mean,
they're making electric cars. Like, I know BMW has some hybrids. I don't know if they have a fully electric. Do they?
they do I forgot the name of it, but I'm pretty sure that they have at least one like small fully electric car.
All right, but like, their bread and butter is still the either hybrids or gasoline vehicles.
Yeah.
So like, I think Sony is just seeing that we have an opportunity to establish ourselves in the electric vehicle market.
But that's the thing. I'm wondering if they actually have plans to really go into the market, or is this just a concept car that stays just as that, a concept? The one thing I will say about the car is it shows off a lot of Sony's capabilities. Sony makes camera tech, Sony makes speaker technology. All of that stuff was integrated into the car in a pretty cool way. The interior looked interesting. It looked very distracting because I think it basically has a dashboard that spans like across the entire front dash of the car, and then the two, the driver's seat and the passenger seats at the back of the headrest are two like giant screens.
Hmm.
So it's definitely like an entertainment monster, but we'll see how it works for the person driving.
Well, it could be that they're preparing for self-driving cars.
And that's the thing too. I was gonna say the car, I believe, does also have lidar and all the other things that, at least most of the other things that are necessary for full like autonomous self-driving. Which, by the way, Tesla did push out an update allowing it. My coworker who has a Model 3 and a Model Y, he has the ability. We were talking about it the other day on the way to his car, and I was like, so do you have it? He was like, I have like the trial. I have to buy the full version. Like, I'm thinking to myself, it's like they have downloadable content that you have to purchasable downloadable content for your car.
A Tesla with DLC. Holy shit.
Tesla has a DLC for their car. Yeah, like he showed me, he pulled up the app on his phone and he was like, yeah, if I paid like $8,000, I could get it right now. And I was just like, there's an $8,000 add-on after you buy, bro.
Holy shit.
An $8,000 downloadable add-on. But no, I mean, like when we went for a little drive in his Model Y, it's kind of crazy because just a couple weeks ago when we were in it, it obviously it recognized cars and so on, because on the screen it shows the things around the Tesla that the car recognizes. And now it recognizes colors of the traffic lights, stop signs, speed limit signs, garbage cans, what else? People, animals, all of that stuff, and all of them pop up as like live icons on the screen around the car as you drive past it, also with like proximity indicators around it as well. I mean, there's a reason why Tesla stock is almost at 500. it's
So it's
it's
going.
shooting up.
So it's not going to be easy. You're trying to say for Sony to compete with them.
No, there's Tesla is at the phase of implementation, whereas Sony just released a concept.
Now, well, our next thing they could be thinking is that they don't actually need to make the car. They just need to make what they make well in the car,
The technology. That's
the
what I was thinking.
technology. So, and they could, instead of making the car and selling the technology itself, other car companies that want to make their cars could go to Sony and say, "Hey, we saw what you did with that car. Are you willing to put it in our car?"
Right. The thing is, I think it's one of those things where it's one company that would like be partnering, because I
Yeah,
doubt,
yeah,
it's not going to be a case of, just any, like every company goes to Sony, because then everybody's just going to have the same thing, right?
yeah, yeah,
So it's definitely going to be like one company that's going to try to like be like, okay, hey, let's partner up and let's do this thing.
yeah.
I mean, we'll see how it goes though.
It'd be kind of like a couple of years ago, Beats did a partnership with, oh my god, I want to say Kia, but I think that's wrong. Was it Kia or some company?
Oh, was it the Kia Soul or something?
It might have been. It might have been. Oh, this is killing me now.
But I know what I was thinking too is kind of like how, I mean, now I might be saying incorrect information, but I think Bose and like Rolls Royce or something have a special thing where if you have speakers in a Rolls Royce, it's chances are it's like Bose speakers or some high end company. It might be Bose, might be somebody else.
Yeah, probably one of those. The point is, it's not a foreign concept for people who make media devices to work with car companies.
Right.
Yeah. So
I mean, we'll see how it goes, because it's one of those things where cameras all around. Again, Sony makes camera tech, speaker technology, all of that stuff. One of my professors actually used to work for Sony, and he told us about some of the cool speaker tech that they were working on at the time. And I think some of the stuff that they were working on back then is very relevant for the way things are going right now. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say. I mean, he told us, so obviously, like, I think he's allowed to say, but I don't know if I'm allowed to repeat it. But I don't know. I don't want to get him in trouble. But it sounded pretty cool. Some of the stuff that he was working on, again, like a few years ago when he was working for Sony. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how, you know, electric cars and so on progress into the future. I know Rivian also was there with their R1T, I believe. That's the electric pickup. It's gotten a lot of traction. It's probably Tesla's, I wouldn't even, not Tesla's biggest competitor, but the next biggest electric car manufacturer out there. They received a bunch of funding from Amazon. Amazon actually ordered like 300,000, some ridiculous amount of delivery trucks. So like they're actually going to be designing a delivery truck for Amazon that we'll be seeing on the road within the next couple of years. And I believe that the Rivian is set to go on sale. It's at least going to start hitting roads by summer, and then it'll be on sale by the end of the year. I mean, it'll be like getting to customers that pre-ordered by the end of the year.
very cool.
Yeah.
Amazon going electric kind of distracts you from the fact that they're in big oil right now.
I mean, I feel like that's every like every big tech company, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. Because is that something that we should talk about at some point? Maybe not this episode, but at some point in the future.
Yes, we're looking into like deeper. I'm interested in talking about it one, but the to research more on these companies because I honestly thought that when you showed me the article that they were in big oil, that genuinely shocked me.
Yeah, same, honestly. So, to give some context and some background, I came across an article probably a couple weeks ago or a week ago or something like that.
Was it an article or was it a Vox video?
Oh no, it was yeah, actually
Yeah.
a Vox video, and it was titled big tech companies in oil, or big oil, or something like that. So you guys could go and watch it. I'll link it down below. It kind of highlighted the fact that, for example, Google is I like Google. I could say that. I mean, I don't trust them 100%, but I like them. And it showed that, while Google did, I think they've reached 100% renewable energy for all of their power, so they're completely green. but at the same time, their AI and the fact that machine learning is becoming much bigger and bigger has become a lot more appealing to the oil industry. And the oil industry is a massive industry. And the thing is, machine learning can help big time with eliminating some of the shortcomings of humans in when it comes to finding oil, transporting, and all of that kind of everything that has to do with gathering, collecting, and moving oil. So essentially implementing machine learning systems into that chain makes it easier to find oil, makes it much more profitable because there's, less human interference, less, manpower, less mistakes made by humans, and a lot more accurate. So we'll talk a lot more about it in another episode after we do a bit more research and get a bit more familiar with it. Again, machine learning isn't something that only Google has, but Microsoft has machine learning programs. Amazon does as well. So
Yeah.
big tech is getting into big oil.
Yep. What a lovely world we live in.
It's so backwards, man. It's like, yeah, we're gonna go completely green, and yeah, we're also gonna help out big oil because they're gonna pay us to.
Because money.
Yeah,
I wonder when we're gonna get to the point where we're gonna realize that we need to self-preserve and making money is not self-preservation.
I don't know if I feel like something really bad has to happen, and the reason why I say that is because Australia is on fire, and it still hasn't hit a lot of people yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot it.
So
Like it's literally like almost the entire fucking country's on fire. Yo.
yeah, and it's we're talking about absolutely massive amounts of casualties for wildlife. We're talking 500 million wildlife has most likely perished by estimates.
Or will perish as a result of the fires.
Like 500 million is already like like a fairly established number. So it will perish. It's going to go higher than that. I'm actually at a loss there because I don't even know I don't know how to help. I don't know, like it's really one of those cases where firefighters are literally flying in to help, but I just don't know what you can do with a fire like that large. We're talking about, I think, 5 million hectares to acres or whatever you call it, or
Mm.
hectares of land.
Do not edit that out of the final cut.
Hey man, of course I gotta sound good for the people.
It's got 5 million hectares,
Yeah,
hectares.
hectares.
And then
So.
how much million wands has it got, huh? How much million hectares, yo?
Oh man, but it's absolutely it's insane. Like the amount of area this thing has engulfed, it's very large, and obviously this is there are a lot of people refuting. Actually, let's just not get into the politics of all of that. But
I mean,
Australia's on fire.
the politics is a pretty big part of that because if the
Yeah,
firefighters were equipped, if the firefighters had the budget and the equipment to put out the fires when it started earlier, like in November, I think, we may
right.
not have gotten to this point.
That's true, and I mean, if it was just taken more seriously in general, but it's an unfortunately bad situation.
Well, I really don't like being this sort of person, but I guess you could send your thoughts and prayers and donations, actually. A
Yeah.
lot of places are accepting donations.
Hmm.
Let me see if I could.
Again, I know I'm going off topic here. Like we are way off topic of CES and tech. We'll definitely jump back on it. But did you hear about the model who was selling her
I've heard basically it's a model selling her nudes to
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 raise funds?
to raise funds. So
Yeah,
if
and
you donate to the Australia Fire Rescue Fund or something like that, or any donation like to the Red Cross or anything like that,
that
and you
helps. That helps the situation in
that helps the
Australia.
situation in Australia. You take a picture of it and you send it to her, and she sends you her nudes.
Yeah, which is wild.
She's a hero, yo.
Yeah, I mean, she really like for real. And I heard like she's had some drama with her family and so on. People just not liking it. So I mean,
Bro,
again, it's her
she
choice,
raised
and she's
like
helping.
$700,000, I think, is what
Oh
I
yeah,
saw.
she raised
Like,
so
I would
much
not be
money.
mad at. How could you be mad at her? Like,
Yeah,
okay, so some people thirsty, and she used that. Like, there's a lot of Instagram models and influencers. You can't see it, but I'm using air quotes right now. that do that have their Instagram and like Patreon page or some crap like that, and they charge people for their nudes,
Mm-hmm.
but they use the money for themselves.
Yeah.
She's using
She's
it
doing this for a just cause.
exactly. I don't care. Whoever is mad at her for doing it, they come on.
So, did you donate?
No, I don't. Like I'll donate to the Australian. Well, I think everyone should donate, for the fires. But I'm not gonna send the
Uh
picture to her.
huh. But it's funny because and we heard about the. I mean, at least I heard about the one in California. I live in America, and like that affected so many people. But again, it was all the rich and famous people. So of course, it heard about. Everybody knew about it. It was taken seriously. But this one, it sucks that it had to reach this level just for me to like start to hear about it a bit more.
Yeah, there was other stuff in the news, right? There was the impeachment, and
A bunch of other political stuff. Yeah.
no one cared. No one cared that Australia was on fire. So you could donate at redcross.org.au. That's the Australian
Awesome.
Red Cross.
So let's go back to some of the lighter topics. And again, this all started because of a few different things, but politics in big oil and then big tech, and just the realization that at some point self-preservation might be a little bit more important than making a few bucks.
Alright. But we're not politics guys, we're
Yeah,
just
a
a couple
couple
of
of
gamers,
gamers
so
and tech heads.
that's
So we'll stick to that. That rant is done. What else? What else do we have from CES? Do you see anything else cool?
you want me to just run down the list of stuff, and you could just tell me when you want to talk about something.
I guess I'll talk about it just because again, this is kind of like one of my areas that I like. The OnePlus Concept phone or
Yeah.
Concept One smartphone with the.
Oh, really?
I mean, again,
Okay,
I
no,
just want to talk
continue,
about it just
continue.
because that's like the only piece of like mobile or like phone tech that I've seen, like notable piece of phone tech that I've seen at CES.
Yeah.
So it's a phone and it has cameras that has like an electrochromatic piece of glass over it. So essentially, when you're not using the cameras, the glass essentially becomes black, so it looks like there's no cameras there. It's awesome. Yeah, it's amazing.
Is there anything more to add to that?
Now that's literally it. Like that was literally it. Electrochromatic glass that allows you to make your camera seem like they disappear, which they don't actually really disappear. Like I've seen pictures of it and I can still see the cameras if you look close enough. I just don't see what
Yeah.
why who asked for that.
Somebody, maybe an executive in a meeting said, "You know what would be cool? You know what people want? They want disappearing cameras here. That's what people want."
But they don't want the pop-up cameras or the shark fins or any of that stuff.
Well, it has the pop-up camera. The selfie camera is a pop-up
Oh,
camera.
it is?
So you could potentially have no visible cameras
Oh,
on
nice.
the phone.
I mean, actually, now that I think about it, you know what that would probably be useful for?
Stalkers?
Yeah, I mean, I would think it would actually be pretty useful. Like, imagine having that on your webcam, you know, and it completely goes black. Obviously, you could just cover it, but it just goes completely black, and like when you're not seeing the lens, it's not there, right?
I don't think. I don't think so. I don't think you'll know, no, because like
You still have to like look at the camera or something.
yeah, and in addition to that, like even like as you were saying, the camera is still sort of visible,
Yeah, it's
and
it's still
it's
yeah.
still there. So if someone wants to hack you, and
But think about like I guess maybe a more aggressive version where it's completely black, and tinted out. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it could be potentially useful in other circumstances,
I,
in very specific
I
circumstances where
guess
I don't know, maybe you just can't put something over your camera.
yeah. I think the better way to go about this whole privacy concern with webcam cameras is how I've seen some laptop companies implementing it. I think HP and Asus, maybe, don't quote me, but they have a
Hmm.
switch, like a physical switch that disconnects the webcam.
Right.
So
Yeah, Google has that on their the Google Home, the video, the Google Hub, I think, or the Nest Hub. But yeah,
I guess they don't want to implement any moving parts on phones anymore, but that would be cool. Especially now. I find it weird that they're moving away from moving parts, except for foldable phones, because now the life cycle of a phone is like 1 year, 2 years, if so much. People
uh,
want to upgrade their phones still.
I'm actually thinking the opposite. I think the life cycle of phones used to be 1 to 2 years. I think now it's going past that
Are,
because
okay, yes, the phones could last longer. I'm not saying, and the phones won't get slower longer. I'm not saying that. I'm saying a lot of people upgrade their phones every year or every other year.
I'd argue against that still. I mean, okay, what age demographic are we talking about? Because honestly, I think my dad has been rocking his S8 since the S8 came out. And my dad used to be the kind of guy who used to upgrade his phone every year or two. Um, my mom only upgraded her phone because her her S8 Plus was giving some trouble.
Mm,
So I bought her the S10 Plus, and that's the only reason she really upgraded. I mean, again, maybe it's just because that demographic, but I feel like there's less pulling in people because unless the phone is giving a problem, I feel like people are less likely, at least again, a certain demographic of people are less likely to change it. People who don't care about specs or people who don't care about the new tech that comes with it.
mm-hmm.
Because even when I got my Note 10 Plus, my dad asked me, why? And I had to like explain to him, like, I mean, it's on the cutting edge. I mean, obviously, I picked the Note because of the stylus and all of that, but we're talking about no bezels, 4 cameras, and one of them is a time of flight sensor, and just like everything else that comes with it, all of the RAM. I literally have no problem running anything on my phone, all of the storage, everything, and it's like this is the first phone that I can say does everything I need to and with like no issue in terms of I don't have battery life problems. I have no issues with this phone.
Oh, it does everything that you needed to, huh? So, like if you bought like a really nice pair of headphones, right?
Okay. Okay. We're going there.
So let's just say you buy a really nice pair of headphones and you want to listen to music on your phone, but your battery is kind of low. Oh, what would you do?
So I got Galaxy Buds.
All right, but I just said like a really nice pair of headphones over the air. Like let's say you got a new pair of like Bose headphones or something like that. And not the Bose wireless, not the what is it, the quiet comfort? Not, I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Q series.
yeah,
QC. Yeah.
like a nice wired headset. What's
I
the
pull out the Note 8. All right, fine. That's one thing I will. Actually, I could just pull out my converter and plug it in.
okay, but
Hmm.
your battery's low, bro.
That's fine. I got wireless charging.
All right, bro, bad.
And even if I'm not in public, when I bought my Note 10, I got what do you call it? Like a rebate thing where you could buy some other stuff with money that they give you, and I also have a portable battery charger that is also has wireless charging. So yeah, I keep that in my pocket. I literally go to work with it every day in my right pocket. So yeah, we solved. We good.
Yeah, to do everything phone.
But okay, fine. But it does most of the things that I needed to. I just think overall, in general, people are going to be upgrading less and less. But again, it depends on the demographic.
Yeah, well, I guess because of where I work, I'm thinking people upgrade a lot. Cause
That's true. You get to see that very much
yeah,
firsthand.
the most of what I see are people with the newest phones. A lot of them who can't afford it, but still they would upgrade to the newest phone simply because it's the newest iPhone.
The prime target.
Yeah.
People who can't afford it and want more iPhones.
Yep.
It's kind of sad, to be honest. It's like one of those situations where a company has influenced you so much that you need this new thing that, even if it's against your means, you
You still
still.
go to buy it. I think a lot of these cell phone companies are enabling that sort of behavior with the leases and their early upgrade programs and their like 2 year agreements and not really 2 year agreements. You don't really see companies like promoting 2 year agreements anymore. because you want people to upgrade faster.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, like for example, I have, I'm on T-Mobile. I have Jump, so anytime a phone comes out, and again, I'm on a 2 year plan. Like I don't pay the whole thing up front, but anytime a new phone comes out and I've paid off at least half of the phone, aka I've been on it for a year, I can upgrade. Here's the catch though: I have to trade in my phone, and then still have to basically like, essentially all they're doing is they're wiping off the next year, but then you upgrade and you pay the same down payment and then, you know, the same monthly thing as you would, you know, as if you were getting the phone new, but you just lost your phone that you spent, you know, half a year paying, like, you know, a whole year paying for.
Yep.
So that's why even when I got my Note, was upgrading from the Note 8 to the Note 10, I just paid off my Note 10 and I pre-ordered the Note 8, paid off my Note 8 and pre-ordered the Note 10. Speaking about Note though, Samsung also showed up at CES with um the most confusing. Okay, I know that I complain a lot about naming conventions. Samsung, what are you doing? Okay, Samsung has announced the Note 10 Lite and the S10 Lite.
Yep.
Now, we have the S10, we have the S10 Plus, the S10e, which is essentially the like budget version,
I
and
thought
now we
that
have
was
the S10 Lite.
Yeah, I thought the S10e was the S10 Lite, which confused me. I was like, so it's lighter than the E?
No, it's not.
It
Which is what confuses me. I just don't. They're like self cannibalized. I really think that they're just doing too much. It's like you have so many phones, and that's just the S lineup. They already have, you know, the like other good mid range flagships,
Yeah, the E lineup is doing work for Samsung this year. Well,
and
last
like
year.
especially outside of America.
Yeah.
So it's confusing me. Like, and also look at the release timing. Why not? I can understand the Note. Like you have
Yeah.
the Note 10.
You're gonna have to wait until like October to get the next note. So I understand that. The next S series, whether they call it the S11 or the S20, like I'm hearing
Yeah.
some reports, it's coming out like either next month or March. So,
They're at least going to be announcing it next month. You're gonna know what it's gonna look like next month. They're gonna have an event. That's basically guaranteed. By the end of February, you're gonna know what the S11, S20, whatever you want to call it, looks like.
yep.
But they just released the S10 Lite. It's confusing to me. I don't know why Lite is even Samsung.
Like, what's the difference between the Lite and the S10? Because I haven't paid attention to it, honestly.
Okay, let me see. The differences are, first of all, price. I believe it's in the $600 range or something like that.
Oh, so
Um,
budget these days, flagship
yeah.
of yesterday. Yeah.
Considering that, yeah, a couple of years ago, $600 was way, that was big flagship price. The S10 Lite. Hold on, I'm still looking for, because I'm finding the information on the Note 10 Lite, which has, I know that the look of it is different. For example, the camera setup on the back of it is like more rectangular now, and
Okay, so I found that. Okay, so it has a 1080 by 2400 display, 6.7 inches.
hmm
6.7 inches.
it's sizey.
Holy wow! Didn't Light used to be mean like kind of smaller?
Yeah,
Okay,
it used to.
I
It
guess
used
used
to.
to. It has to mean light on the specs, which is it has a Snapdragon 855 and 68 gigs of RAM and a 48 megapixel camera. There's not
Yeah,
much light up. It has a 4500 milliamp hour battery. What's
yeah, and
light?
but it doesn't have curved screens. Like, you know, the edge of the screen doesn't curve. It's like a flat panel on the front of it. So yeah, there. It also
Oh,
has the hole punch camera that, you know, made the Note 10, you know, Note 10. So
mm,
it's actually like kind of monstrous besides the resolution, I guess. The resolution still isn't bad, but
nah. It's
just nothing about it seems light to me except the price maybe. You know, you're getting a lot for the price.
Are you though? I mean, okay, yeah, I guess you are because if you compare it to like the iPhone XR is selling at that same price or about that price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where, as MKBHD says, good phones are getting cheap and cheap phones are getting good. I think that this is I don't think they should be expanding their smartphone lineup this much, especially their flagship lineup. Because, like, who's going to buy this instead of the S10e? I mean, it's
Well,
like, all right, I want a better camera instead of what's on the S10e.
yeah,
So I'll
that's
pay
it though.
$100 or $200 more or whatever.
That's probably it. Because that's all people care about now. That's like that's literally all people care about. They don't care about any of the other specs because they just expect the phone to run well.
Yeah, they want them 48 megapixels.
The megapixel rigs. I guess. I don't know if that works.
Yeah, I mean, I just like I guess again it goes back to how the public perceives things. Just because I personally know that there's a point where the amount of megapixels you have really doesn't matter. I think like nowadays image processing is
Yeah,
kind of king.
yeah, image.
And Google has proven that with the Pixel lineup.
Yep. Even iPhone with their latest, with the 11 and the 11 Pro, I think they've
Yeah.
proven it. Like image processors. Like even before that, the iPhone never had like insane megapixel counts. It actually had low megapixel counts, but it was
Yeah.
still making either one off or the best camera on smartphone.
Yeah. And again, it was one of those things where it was easy. It was just a point and shoot. You don't have to worry about things. And things would be balanced properly. And then the image would be processed accordingly. Color saturation, all of that stuff. And it would come out as a good picture without much work being put in.
Yep.
Again, public perception is a big thing that I think really comes down to selling these phones as well. Because it's probably one of those cases where a lot of people think that they're into tech, but they don't really know the details about it.
No. It's kind of comical when you hear people who think they're into tech but are not really into tech when they argue about tech. I tend to stay out of it simply because I think I'll just come off as a huge ass if I just come in and say, actually, it's just like, you know what,
It's
just
like you push up the glasses. Well, actually, I would like to say, you're wrong about that.
well,
Yeah, yeah.
actually, for the past couple of years, the Google Pixel's been making really good cameras. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, nobody wants to come. I mean, honestly, for me, it's just a case of like, yeah, I'm not gonna argue with you because chances are, you don't want to hear that you're wrong, so you're just gonna like, you can't get through to some people. But
No.
well, we'll see when it comes out. I don't know. It'll be something. And Samsung also, did you see their rotating TVs?
They're what?
Oh, you didn't see. Samsung showed off TVs that rotate. So, if you're ever casting something from your phone to your TV, you might occasionally come across vertical content. They were like, yeah, we're going to double down on that. Since people are making vertical content, we're going to literally rotate the entire TV so that way you can have a vertical TV as well. So the TV literally, there are two companies that did it. Samsung was one, I forgot who the other was, but two companies made TVs that rotate. Yeah. So if you're casting and then all of a sudden, you're on a vertical video, yeah, it'll rotate. It does it pretty quickly too, probably like 5-10 seconds. For me, it's just a case of don't encourage vertical filming. Don't encourage vertical content other than like Instagram.
That's So, for instance, right? Let's say you're watching Instagram video, right? From Instagram, I don't know. They call it IGTV still.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. IGTV doesn't exclusively have vertical videos anymore because I think they realized that was stupid. So, what happens when you come upon a clip that's in 16:9 or 21:9?
Goes back to portrait. What do you call it? It goes back to landscape.
And then when the video ends, you have to wait 5 seconds again for it to rotate.
I mean, you're gonna be looking at it on your phone primarily. I guess it's just like if you're showing people content, it'll, it's.
Oh, so it's just a
the,
TV to flex then.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, hey guys, you want to come over and look at my rotating TV? Yeah, like check this out, and then pull up something, and it's like, yeah, it rotates. Yeah, dude.
Okay, great. I guess.
I'm telling you, like CES is no longer consumer electronics show at all. It's just concept electronics show because some of the stuff that I'm seeing there is just
So,
why I cannot see that being in a house.
so they're just throwing shit at people. That's what they do at CES. They just throw shit at people and say, "Hey, do you like this? We'll make it. Do you like it?"
Yeah, that's basically it.
uh, well, have you seen the Samsung AI Neon?
Briefly.
It's discerning to me because they're putting a face to the AI, and the face. Okay, so basically, I should explain what it is. So
Yeah,
it's a super realistic digital assistant or like AI, kind of like what they did with Bixby, but better. So it makes like these chatbots that look and act like real people.
which is again, I think the world is moving to that when with the advent of deep fake, again, AI, even audio deep fakes and so on.
Apparently, they're not like personal assistants like Google Assistants or like Siri.
Yeah,
Yeah, they say Samsung is saying neons are more like us, an independent but living virtual being who can show emotions and learn from experiences. Unlike AI assistants, neons do not know it all. So what's the point? They are not an interface to the internet to ask for weather updates or to play your favorite music. So what's the point? Just to say you made a person?
I mean, I think like in that sense, I think it's fascinating in the sense of how can you recreating humans or like recreating the consciousness of a living creature like us humans. It's something that I think humans have always been obsessed with, but we've only just recently been able to at least start to fathom how to possibly go about achieving it. I think this is also, it's not the first step, but it's a step on that road to can we make us?
Well, they're advertising it as like something like AI that could be used for more personable tasks, like tasks that don't require you to know everything. For the assistant to know everything.
Right.
It's just tasks that need a more human touch, like financial advisors, teachers, healthcare providers, spokespeople, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I don't want a future where I can't tell. And next one of the jobs that they say you could do is TV anchors. I don't want to. I don't want to be able to watch the news and think like, is this a real person reading this to me, or is this a robot that has a message from whatever government telling me whatever they want, whatever the government wants me to hear?
I mean, but what's the difference between a robot doing it and a person doing it?
You know, a conscience.
You think people who get paid that much have a conscience, bro?
Like a lot of reporters quit their jobs because they don't like the message that they're being forced to tell.
But someone always takes the position anyway.
True. Still though, it is creepy. Have you seen the models? It looks like people. I thought it was an actual person.
I saw like it very briefly, and I thought it was cool. I thought it looked very realistic. But I need to look at it closer. One thing I do have to ask is, have you ever heard about Lyrebird?
No.
It's so just like how you have like a visual deepfake, like can the avatar show like facial expressions and so on?
It looks like it. I haven't seen them move, but they have expressions on their face in the stills.
There's a program called the Lyrebird AI, and I'll also put that link in the description. But it's the weirdest thing. So they actually have a website. They're a part of a recording service, I think, called Descript. I think it's like a recording slash transcribing service or use it to record podcasts. But Lyrebird AI was acquired by Descript or they're working with Descript, and they can create auditory deep fakes, which means, and I've tried this. So if you go to their website, they have, I think, 4 voices that you can choose, like 4 voice doubles that you can choose. 2, like they have a female synthetic and a male synthetic voice, and then they have like a female original voice and a male original voice. Now what that means is I can read out a certain sentence. I can't do it on the free version that's on the website right now, but essentially I can read out a certain sentence, and based on that sentence I read out, like the quick, fox jumps over, blah, 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 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It can pick up the tones, the vowels and words and stuff I use and all of that. And then I could type out any sentence and it will say it with that emotion or with it. It's the weirdest thing. Like, honestly, go to the website, try it out. Lyrebird, that's Lyre bird, AI. And you can literally type out whatever you want, the craziest thing. But I think they have like a pre-outline thing where it's like, I should probably, and then you can type out whatever you want in that space, and then the sentence ends this year. So I think I typed out like, I should probably go to the gym this year, and it said that pretty naturally. Then I typed out something even longer, and it gave all the tonal fluctuations and everything. It was bizarre. It sounded like somebody just said it. It didn't sound like computer generated, but no, this was computer generated.
Yeah, I'm on the site. I'm seeing it has a sample. They are a male voice saying they are completely separate from one another. I was gonna listen to it real quick.
Yeah.
They are completely separate from one another.
That's not a robot, bro.
Did you scroll down and did you see the option where you could type in whatever you want?
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna switch out completely. Let's type whatever you want. Okay, sure not. Oh, it takes a while, doesn't it?
They are insanely separate from one another.
Bro, that's...
What did you type out? What I'll do is I'll clip it out and I'll also place it on the podcast so other people can hear it as well.
I just switched separately for insanely, thinking, well, they can't have the same inflection. They probably won't have the same inflection and everything, but it sounds natural.
Exactly. So it doesn't have the same inflection, but so the feature is called overdub, and I'll read it out for you. It says overdub allows you to replace recorded words and phrases with synthesized speech that's totally blended with the surrounding audio. So it takes the tonal inflections that would be most likely used in context with the surrounding words, or however it's placed in that sentence, and it would give you that tonal inflections. Like, normally I wouldn't say I am completely happy, or something like that. I would be like, I'm completely happy. I mean, that sounds like a stupid phrase, but it's all of these kind of things, these tonal inflections and so on, that are it's very easy for us to tell when a computer or like a synthetic voice is just doing it, because you hear that monotone, with no emotion, no tone, nothing behind it. Yeah, well, that's gonna be flying out the door soon enough, because it's gonna become very hard to tell these differences.
Yo, I'm still kind of like, why is that so cool?
I'm telling you, when I first found it, I was playing around with it for a while. It's an implicating feature when you really think about it. Can you imagine the president's image and voice being deepfaked? Normally, it was a case of like, if you have a visual deepfake, you'd have to have a voice actor or somebody else behind, because they had like an Obama visual deepfake and
Yeah,
Key,
but it's someone. It has to have like a voice actor or something
Exactly.
dubbing over the voice.
Exactly, and I think they use Key, or from Key and Peele. Is it Key?
Yeah,
I think so.
that would be Jordan. So it's Peele.
Peele. I always get them mixed up. So they used Peele from Key and Peele, aka Jordan. He's the director of Get Out and Us, and also part of Key and Peele. Fairly good Obama impression, and they did a visual deepfake, just dubbed his voice over it. But now it's getting to the point where you could probably have visual and audio deepfake, which makes it so much harder to be able to like tell the difference.
Yeah, that's not good. That's really not good. In the future, it's going to be a problem detecting whether the news is actually the news, especially now where people don't actually watch the news on cable TV.
Yeah.
They watch it on the internet.
They just get it, yeah. And that's the thing, whatever you see on your social media, it's like you take that as news. It's funny because I would actually kind of like to run an experiment where, let's say I identify one of my friends and I talk to everybody in their social group who's on their social media, and we post the exact same news. I wonder if they would actually go look it up. What I mean? Because imagine the amount of people who just don't, fact check information. But I do think Facebook is trying to heavily combat that, because they got into a bit of heat when it came to for example, the elections and so on a couple of years ago. And recently we've seen them roll out a new feature on Instagram, which is like a fact checker. And I sent you the screenshot of it. So I was following a page, and then I think this person posted something. It was like a picture of some text saying like, I don't know. I really I'm not making this up. I think it was like, women are
You sure
not
you want to see that?
funny. Again, I'm just saying what I saw. Oh wait, no. What was it? Women are funny. And then the
Yeah,
fact check said this is incorrect.
this is good.
Like, again, it's no offense to anybody. It's just like what I've seen. And obviously like the fact check was a little bit off. There's a lot of funny people out there. Facebook's definitely trying to implement features that will combat fake news or false news. I definitely think that they're going to have to be really on top of it to really get on top of these deep fakes. And it's probably just going to have to be a case of news that doesn't come out of official platforms is going to automatically be deemed as fake. But then that's bad in and of itself, because then you have to go to an official platform to be able to announce something. It's very weird.
Well, Facebook did ban deepfakes in their recent terms and services agreement or something like that.
But the question is, how do they identify them?
The language they use is if it's not obvious that the language they use was confusing to me, because they said if it's not obvious that this is a fake, then it's not allowed. But if it's not obvious that it's a fake, how would you know it's a fake, and how would you know that it's not allowed, right?
Exactly, because I feel like the best deep fakes are going to be the ones that are not obvious, the
Yeah.
ones that are very much like they really make you question if it's, legit.
Yeah, so apparently only the obvious ones are allowed, like the really bad deep fakes. That you could post that,
Right.
fine. But if it's meant to be realistic looking and meant to have like it's meant to fool someone or meant to trick someone,
Right.
meant to trick into thinking that this is actually the person that, but it's not, then
That'll be
it's
obviously
banned.
bad. Right. So if like you could probably use it for comedic purposes or something, but if it's once it's
Yeah.
like with the intent to deceive, then it's definitely going to be gone.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we'll see how it all works out in the future, because it's it's a weird period. Like, information moves so quickly now that, honestly, the implication of a deep fake going live and then spreading very quickly before it can be banned can be a very bad thing. We're talking about, again, a political leader making a threat or something.
Yeah.
And, that's taken very quickly, that's taken very seriously, very quickly. And if that spreads very quickly, there can be repercussions that happen before it can be said, oh, this is fake.
Or even like just someone reporting some leaks and that affecting the stock price of our product.
Ooh,
So yeah,
damn.
like
That's a really good point. Like, can you imagine sending, like, reporting something, saying, all right, we're going to report this real quick. Everybody's going to sell that stock. We're going to buy it low. And then it's going to be like, oh, well, that was a lie. And it's like, I'm a millionaire.
yep.
If I end up in jail in a few years,
Well, I mean, if the deepfake is good enough, then you shouldn't get caught, right?
Hey, I mean, I just happened. I was like, yo, I just happened to buy it at the right time.
So yeah, man, I had no idea what's up.
Nah, no idea.
What, that was fake,
Oh,
man?
that's crazy, bro. I wanted to like, just all my money to just disappear. Yeah. Well, we'll see how deepfakes turn out, and the things that companies will be doing to combat them.
Well, I think one of the things I don't know if you heard about this, but they're making a lot of anti-deepfake AI.
Yes, I've heard about that.
But that seems like it just be a war between deepfakes and anti-deepfakes AI. Just they're going at each other. Like the anti-deepfake AI would try to detect the deepfake, and then the deepfake AI will try to avoid
Yeah.
the anti, and it will just keep going.
The thing that's
Like that.
kind of, crazy about that is, like, again, it's one thing pitting a person against a person. It takes a lot of time for people to, but pitting an AI against an AI with their ability to rapidly learn, we're going to start seeing, entire generations of what would take us, forever to do, start to like fly by between these two AI, it would actually be pretty crazy how fast things would start to like happen.
Yeah, crazy.
So yeah, I mean, soon enough, wars aren't even going to be fought by people. It's just going to be fought by
Yo,
AIs against another AI who has the better AI.
it's funny that you mentioned that, yo. Like, before this whole World War III thing started, and the memes started, right?
Yeah.
Before all of that started, I was thinking, like about a week before, I was thinking, yo, if there were to be a next big war, like in the future, it'll probably be fought by gamers and like pro gamers and like software developers.
Yeah.
That would probably what the war would be like, because to avoid casualties with each other.
I mean, that would be ideal, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't even have to be VR. We just set up a virtual battlefield. We say, all right, go at it. No harm to human life. Whoever wins, fair and square.
you just have like Dota and League players strategizing. You have like the CS:GO players and
Yo,
like
that
the
would actually be
Overwatch
kind of
players
crazy, bro. That would be
controlling the robots.
that would be kind of
Controlling the
wild.
robots on the ground.
Can you imagine a billion player battle royale
Yo,
where again,
Fortnite players just building.
yo, that would be
Fortnite players
wild.
just. Whoa.
Oh
Yeah.
man, we're taking it kind of lightly, but at the same time, we know the seriousness of the situation of an actual war breaking out. I mean, this episode is a bit more flagrant than than our usual ones, but 2020 New Year, gotta try some different styles of content.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, I actually don't. We don't think we'll be talking about the cheating and mod stuff this week. This episode is already pretty long as is, so we're actually coming down to probably the last few minutes here. We'll definitely jump into that stuff probably next week, most likely. And again, that topic is just how cheating and mods have affected the world of gaming. Because again, last week we were talking about how cheats, in games like GTA, San Andreas, that was a part of the game. That was a feature,
Yep.
And then mods for things like Skyrim, Minecraft, and so on, that,
It's keeping games alive, yeah.
yeah, those keep games alive. Those really, they're what make games good sometimes. I mean, I'm not saying that the games are bad inherently, but
It adds something to it, yeah.
yeah. And again, Beat Saber. I'm actually kind of mad because I could talk about this. I got my $80 Oculus Link cable. Yeah, I spent $80 for a cable. And basically what happens is so I've been talking about my Quest. I have the Oculus Quest, and Oculus released a feature called Oculus Link where you can essentially plug in your Oculus Quest into your PC and use it like a Vive. I mean, not a Vive, like an Oculus Rift. And thing is, you need a very specific cable that can transfer like high bandwidths of data from the PC, through a USB 3.0 port to the headset, in order to get that high fidelity graphic signal to the headset display. So there were very few cables that were capable of that. I tried all of the USB-C cables in my house because the Oculus Quest has a USB-C port on it, and none of them worked. Then I ordered one that was recommended from Anchor by Oculus themselves until they released their actual official one. And that one was too short. I think it was only like 6 feet. And the Oculus one that came in is like 16 feet. It's really long. I was like, nice. I can go and play some Beat Saber. And they released like a patch or like an update that day. And anytime they release an update, it breaks mods. One of the simple mods for Beat Saber is, normally you have a pre-approved list of songs from Beat games. Just a list of, just songs that were made just for the game. And then maybe they also have a couple of things like Imagine Dragons has a song pack on there. Green Day has a song pack on there. Stuff like that. And that's basically all of the music in it. But then the mod community came through and were like, how about we just do anything? Bring in any song as long as somebody creates a map for it. That's where the game really like took off. Just absolutely flew. And I was like, yeah, all right, time to go and play some, I don't know, some Daft Punk songs. And then yeah, the mod broke, and I was just like, this game is unplayable. I literally played it for I think like 5 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm done. That's about it. And this is a game I paid
Yeah.
$30 for,
Oh damn.
and that's not the first time I paid
And
that. That's the second time I paid that, because the PC version and the Quest version are separate.
why? Isn't it both? Why?
They're both Beat Saber, but they're different platforms.
Oh, okay. Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I had to pay for it twice. The thing is, on the Quest version, they completely broke. They were like, no, modding is not allowed anymore, and the software that was actually side quest was actually kind of partnered with the guys who were doing the modding for the mobile version of Beat Saber, the Quest version. Again, Oculus updated some terms and conditions or whatever, and SideQuest was like, yeah, we don't want to. We kind of have to cut out Beat On. Beat On was the name of the develop group, and they're like, we kind of have to cut them out because we can get legal action taken against us if we don't. So they had to kind of cut them out. So basically, modding songs and modded maps and modded features and stuff for the Quest version has been quite abruptly ended, but the PC version still lives on strong because, yeah, you know, PC master race.
Can't prevent the PC people from modding something, yeah.
Yeah. You know where the files are, you know where it exists. That's all it takes.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I think that'll be an interesting conversation for next week. Anything else we want to add before we go?
I think that's it. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover in CES.
Yeah, I mean,
If anyone listening has anything at CES that they saw that they're interested in, let us know.
yeah, for sure.
Add us on Twitter. Let us know what you're into.
Yeah, go over to our Twitter, gamingti2 on Twitter. The link for the Discord will also be down below. So, I'm not ashamed to say we don't have anybody in our Discord right now. We're not very big. We haven't been in the game for very long. But you can be damn sure that this right here is a message that you can clip for the future in like 30 years. And we're probably going to have like 5 people. So, yeah. But yeah, shout out to you guys who do
So
listen.
look at me now, yo. I got 5 people in my Discord.
I got 5 followers. Yeah, you know.
Don't mean to flex on you, but I got like that.
Yo, I mean, we'll see how things go. But for the people who do listen, I appreciate you. So everything will be down below in the description. Yeah, we'll see you guys, or we'll talk to you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.